we kick off a big week. The Hinman documents have been released 5 minutes ago until a CPI reading which could put the nail in the coffin to finally set us up for an FOMC pause tomorrow. Yes, loads kicking off this week in crypto world and the markets as a whole. We've also got the Binance hearing later today. Coinbase are expected to get an update on their petition for lawmaking towards the SEC. Loads to get into, but first and foremost, let's spend a couple of minutes quickly here on the Hinman files. Now, if you want access to these documents, I've put them in the Telegram, ijaz.uk/TG, ijaz.uk/TG. Go and download it now, have a read through. But again, you can see straight here in the email pointing out to the pertinent bits, the message here from William Hinman saying, attached, please find a draft of the speech I mentioned, which suggests that we do not need to see a need to regulate Ether, as it is currently offered as a security. Now, if you've not watched my video earlier in the week, it's got very few views, but it's one of the most important videos I've published in terms of the crypto landscape and securities. I'll link it up later on in the description for you guys to go watch, or just type it in, uncovered SEC. And you'll be able to see exactly what's going on here. The whole premise behind these Hinman documents is to prove, as Hinman suggested in his speech, that you could have something which represents itself as a security in the early days, but then transitions itself into becoming suitably decentralized, that it is no longer a security and therefore does not need to be regulated as a security. This is a major step in the XRP case. They're the ones who are pushing for this. The court granted and ordered the SEC in October of last year to release the documents, the unredacted versions of these documents. And of course, the SEC were kicking their heels. They didn't want to get these documents put out. Now the documents are out. Now this can be taken to court, and XRP and their legal team can continue to put the pressure on. Now, why is this important? Well, we know that the XRP have spent hundreds of millions of dollars, I think $200 million in court fighting for the right to say we are not a security and we should not need to regulate as such. And of course, we know that the SEC has continued to put the force on other coins. They listed 13 coins last week when they sued Binance, when they sued Coinbase, and a lot of those tokens now, if they all need to defend themselves, they're going to be looking at XRP. They're going to be looking at the blueprint of the XRP argument and trying to replicate it. So if XRP can reach a settlement, if XRP can win this case, then that's going to provide an important precedent for the whole market. And that is why not only are you seeing XRP move here today, you're seeing the wider market move. You're seeing a nice 1.26% move on Bitcoin, 26,200, a nice level, guys, holding above 25,000 very nicely here. Now, of course, it's annoying, it's frustrating that we're not buoying even more when the stock markets are, right? It's a shame we're not pushing beyond 30 and 31 like we want to be. But given the setback, given the peak regulatory fear we're in right now, in my opinion, this is a beautiful, beautiful moment to be buying these dip. In this painful time, these are the moments you want to be buying, guys. These are the moments when the markets are fearful, when you want to be taking a look at your conviction and buying the dip. So we are now 2 minutes away from the 2 minutes away from the CPI release. XRP, incidentally, is of course moving 5% here on this move. And again, the legal team are going to have to continue, and we want to see the rest of the emails come out as well, fully unredacted. Let's also now quickly take a look at the expectations for CPI. Last month, on the headline figure, came in at 4.9%. This is expected to come in at 4.1%. So the market has priced in a big drop here. So there's quite a room here for the market to be disappointed, because if it comes in at 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, markets could be disappointed. On the month over month, we're expecting 0.2% as the consensus estimate versus 0.4 last time out. 5.5 on the core inflation versus 5.3% expected this time, so a drop of 0.2 expected in today's reading in the next minute. And finally, the month over month figures expected to come in here at 0.4 as well. So we'll go ahead over, we'll refresh here, I'll refresh on my iPad as well so we can get the release, and let's see how the markets respond. Let's see if we can get some positive move. I'll just pop up the Bitcoin chart as well so we can take a look here at Bitcoin. Let's get that set up. Let's pop that down to the 5-minute chart, and let's see if Bitcoin can get moving here toward 27,000 on the news. Remember, markets are pricing in a pause. Markets expect tomorrow Jerome Powell to have a pause tomorrow, and that is why it's important that this figure comes in line. If this figure comes in hot, he could just decide to do another 25 base point rate hike, which the market has not priced in. So it will need to be read in order to price that in. So let's get refreshing here, guys, and do smash up the likes, guys, if you appreciate these impromptu live streams here to cover off the important data. right? Not just flexing and doing irrelevant stuff, but covering off the important data. Then make sure you smash up likes. We're going to cover off the May CPI release. It's 1:30 now, so it should be coming out any moment now. Let's have a refresh here on my iPad as well. You guys feel free to refresh on your side as well in case you get it before me. Sometimes some of you do. And let's see what we get. Still nothing. Come on, BLS. Still nothing on my side. Having a refresh. For some reason it doesn't want to update. I can see a bunch of you putting in your percentages. So I'm wondering whether you guys have access to it already. Come on. It's not updating. Does Twitter have it yet? Because these lot haven't posted it. Okay, we got it up in May. It is 4% here, guys. 4% on the reading here. You can see here, 4%, 5.3% over the year, 0.4%. So let's jump into the PDF here. Let's hit refresh. Let's just get this loaded up for you guys. But okay, that's interesting. That is interesting. 4% there, 12%. Let me just get this loaded up on my iPad as well. Their website is crashing, guys. It's awful. Let's take a look. Bitcoin moving to the upside nicely. This is good. This is good, guys. Hinman coming out. Now CPI coming in line. This is good. Let me just jump in. I want to get this PDF so we can go through it together. That's the old one. There we go. We got it, guys. Good stuff. So 0.1%. That's good. That's coming in line. Then we can take a look at the reading here. 4% on all items. Nice beat. That's good, guys. 4.1%. That was a big steep expectation, but it met it. And the core coming in line here at 5.3% as well. And the month over month looking good as well. So a nice triple beat here on the CPI. And this is good news here for the markets. Markets, as you'd expect, are moving to the upside here. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin on the left-hand side and the NASDAQ on the right-hand side. Of course, pre-market here moving to the upside. And this is good news. This is a good start to a difficult week for us. And now we're heading in the right direction. Things are starting to look good. And this should now set us up for our pause. Let's refresh the Fed rate monitor tool. It normally doesn't update that quickly, but we'll take a look at it anyway. Sitting at 78%. I wouldn't be surprised to see this now stay here, maybe go into the 80s over the next couple of hours. Jerome Powell would have seen this figure already, right? Jerome Powell would have seen this already. They're already sat at the FOMC meeting. They give their decision on the rate hike tomorrow. And now we'll have to see what happens. But yes, this is showing resilience here by the markets, right? Resilience. Now, of course, we wish we didn't have this cloud over crypto. We wish Gary Gensler didn't do what he's been doing, because we'd be benefiting from this a lot more. But this is still good. 2% on crypto. Nice move here to the upside. You got Phantom moving up 10% here. Remember, the coins which are getting punished to the downside will start to move more powerfully to the upside. XRP, of course, moving a little bit based on the Hinman documents as well as CPI excitement. But this is good. This is good. Let's now jump into the CPI reading, see if there was anything else worthy of note. Let's see, where is this, where is the inflation coming? What's still expensive? So looking at the month over month, big deflation in fuel, that's good. Fuel coming to the downside is really helping alongside gasoline, electricity. What's still high? Let's see what's still high. But this is good, guys. 13% down on eggs. Guys, you can start buying eggs again. Anytime you want eggs, just buy some eggs, have some eggs for breakfast. Down 13% on the month. Go for it. Absolutely go for it, guys. Spend some of your altcoin profits. Eat some eggs. 5% inflation still on lettuce. So you guys have to stay away from lettuce. It's not acceptable when it's inflating 5% per month. 5% per month on lettuce, guys. Like, are you all right? That's 60% per annum if it carries on at that run rate. Insane. Wait a second. 7%. 7% here on frozen non-carbonated juices and drinks. So guys, you got to drink carbonated juices and drinks. And also, if they're frozen, it's got to be frozen, because non-frozen is way too expensive right now. 7.4% inflation. But look, guys, seriously, inflation is trending in the right direction, and that's a positive sign. Now, I've had this question a few times, which is Phantom a security? Now, I do want to cover this off. If the altcoin was not covered off in the SEC lawsuit, this does not give you a free pass to say that it is not deemed a security. It's not how it works. How the SEC lawsuit works against Binance and Coinbase are separate things, okay? Their fight against individual projects is one thing. We know Gary Gensler wants to go after crypto, that's fine. But if you look at the Binance case and the Coinbase case, all he has to do to hit them with a massive fine and put pressure on them is to say that one of those cryptocurrencies listed in the argument, in the lawsuit, is indeed a security. Because if he can argue that, then based on that, he can say, oh, look, Coinbase, oh, look, Binance, you were selling unregistered securities to US citizens. And that's enough for him to then win the lawsuit. Right? So this is that those lawsuits are not about him going and tearing up crypto just yet. He wants to kill those exchanges off, those lawsuits. So just because Phantom's not in there, doesn't mean, oh, it's getting away with it. And in fact, I'd even say the opposite. It's a little bit worrying, because think about it. Coinbase and Brian Armstrong have come out and said, you know, of the thousands of cryptocurrencies we look at, we only list a certain number of them. And of those, the SEC are talking about maybe 13 odd, right? From the sets of hundreds that we list. Well, they decided not to list Phantom. So Coinbase have actually not listed Phantom. So what do they see in it? Do they think it's a security? Is that one of the reasons they want to stay away from it? We don't know. I'm speculating, but this is the thought process you can go through. So the key thing now is XRP need to win. We need to look at the precedent that XRP set, but you have to keep a mental note that a lot of coins will be deemed securities. That's just how it is. Right? Just because Ethereum is deemed as not a security, and then maybe even XRP can win their law case, it doesn't suddenly give you the green light for every single security. No, they will all need to be tried to the rules, one by one. The argument we're having, we're still in the early stages. We're still in the early stages saying, what are those rules? Are we using the Howey test? Right? And this is what they discuss in the Hinman documents to say, you know, what's going on here? Because Hinman's saying, let's follow some of the rules of the Howey test. And you can see here, look, consider noting that while Howey is often used to determine whether a digital asset is a security, there are also other applicable tests or legal standards that could apply in this context, depending on the facts and circumstances. This is the SEC trying purposefully to, you know, to maneuver in there some confusion. They want to say that, you know, this test, which we've used since whatever, 1930, whatever, the Howey test, is suddenly not fit for purpose. And if it's not fit for purpose, tell us what is fit for purpose, right? You can't just keep it open-ended to say, oh, there are other applicable tests. Because then how can a company like Coinbase operate? How can XRP and Ripple operate, right? You've got to give them clear frameworks. And to this day, the Howey test has been that framework of defining what is a security, what is not a security. So when Coinbase, in the absence of any clarity from the SEC, used the Howey test to determine whether or not a crypto is deemed a security by their standards before they list it on, you know, what else are they supposed to do? They can only use the precedence that's been set. So the SEC are purposely trying to muddy the water and say, no, Howey's not suitable. Maybe there are other tests which are applicable here. They're just trying to give themselves a free, open pass. So it's really important to go look at this. Do have a read of this. I have shared this in the Telegram, ijaz.uk/Telegram. Of course, I'm not a lawyer, but now the legal guys can go to work. It'd be good to hear a lawyer's breakdown as and when it comes out over the next couple of days to find out how much of a front footing does this give XRP and how much closer do we now get to a settlement, and more importantly, what precedent does that set for others to fight their case? Because ADA will have to fight their case, Polygon will have to fight their case, Algorand will have to fight their case, Solana will have to fight their case, right? It continues on and on. Guys, so good to see so many familiar faces here in the live stream. Don't forget to smash up the like. There's a bunch of you watching here, but you've got to hit up the like. If you do hit up the like, and if Binance hearing goes live later on, I will jump on a live stream so we can watch that together as well. We can just chill, have a cup of coffee or a drink, and just listen to the Binance Congress hearing as well. No doubt the politicians will frustrate us, but it's important that we listen to those things as well. So One Step, good to see you. Brandon, good to see you. Shubham, XRP Falcon. It's really hot here, by the way, in London. So sorry if you're hearing the fan noise, but I cannot turn that off. I'm not turning the fan off. All the laptop, the machinery here will just turn off. The cameras will overheat. Because here in the UK, we have crazy insulation. Our buildings are designed to keep the heat in because we have such long winters. So yeah, when we get a little bit of temperature, and I'm talking just like 33 degrees C, which is nothing for some of you based on the countries you're in, yeah, we suffer. We suffer here because we insulate it, so it all stays in, and we don't have ACs. Most people's cars are not gassed up with fresh AC. We have to all rush to the mechanics to get them regassed with cold AC. So yeah, not fun here. Okay, Ian, good to see you. Shoaib, good to see you as well. Sensational Lady, good to see you. Steve, Justin, so good to see so many familiar faces. Okay, let's now jump into Bitcoin, because one thing I've been saying for a while here is that what has changed, right? When we zoom out and look at this, you have to ask yourself, given the situation last week, which was obviously stressful, and we know we're at, you know, peak regulatory panic in the markets, right? They're really trying to go after us, and this is something we have to overcome. Nothing's actually changed. If you look at when you come into a bear market, everything looks towards Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is holding strong. we look at this and we remove the drawings, and let's bring out the EMA ribbon, right? If you look at this, where we stand here on the weekly chart, we're still above our weekly EMA ribbon. Now, albeit only just, but if we can have a positive week, CPI is already in the bell, great stuff. Hinman documents are released, good. Can we keep the progression? Can we get a pause tomorrow? Can we set ourselves up for a nice bounce here? And even if we can get to 27, 27.5, that'll be a really nice week bouncing off this EMA ribbon. That'll be really good, and I'll take it. Because the reality is, altcoins never do well in a bear market anyway. We just need Bitcoin, like always, to steer the ship. Bitcoin is the flag bearer of crypto, whether we like it or not, right? I know some of you are altcoin maximalists, or you only like certain altcoins. Bitcoin has to set pace, and then altcoins move with it into bull markets, which is why I never ignore Bitcoin in the portfolio, as boring as it can be. When it, because we're spoiled in this crypto space. 1% on a day here on Bitcoin is not interesting for you guys. You want to be in Phantom where you're getting 9% in a day, right? But that's why you've got to spread the portfolio out, because you have moments where Bitcoin would just do its thing, run, and then you see that money rotating to alt. So, yes, alts did get decimated last week based on the various lawsuits, but for me, nothing has changed. As long as Bitcoin holds its trend and doesn't want to come back down here and lose its CMA ribbon, we can still trigger our next move to the upside, and then altcoins will eventually catch up. Bitcoin just needs to create the market. Altcoins will follow it through. I'm a strong believer of that. Okay, let's see what else you guys are saying. If you have any questions, do drop them in the chat. We can spend a few minutes covering off some questions, but please do smash up the like, guys. I do need more likes on this live stream. Okay, NASA, hope you're well. Salam, bro. Lefty, can you become more of a commodity as development as happens? Some of the tokens didn't allow US investors until secondary market. Yes, exactly. So you can start off as, that's exactly what Hinman is saying. Hinman is saying in your IPO process, you can start off as a security, but then as the system becomes built after your ICO, your initial coin offering, you start to build the network, you have more node operators, you've become decentralized, Ethereum is now being used for the gas payments, for example, you can then become a commodity. You can no longer fulfill the bullet points of becoming a security. So that's the whole topic of debate here. Justin was thinking the same. Steve Papas, good to see you. And by the way, if you've not watched the video, go watch that video, the SEC one. Make sure that one, I break it down in detail. We go through exactly what Hinman said, why it's important, the precedent set, how all different altcoins are affected. Like, you definitely want to watch that one, guys. Only pump BTC will get is when Gary gets fired. Interesting you say that, because this legend here, guys, Warren Davidson, never heard of the chat before. Obviously, I'm in London, so I don't follow US politics too much. He says he wants to create this SEC Stabilization Act, and he wants Gary Gensler to be fired. All rulemaking, enforcement, and investigations conducted by 6 commissioners, and it creates an ED role for an executive director at the bottom. I love it. I mean, this should just be common sense, but I love it. Why do you have this kind of old structure where one guy could be anti-crypto and then just force it down below, when you could have 6 people come into consensus before you have an executive director carrying out the actual tasks, right? But obviously we know it's bigger than that, right? We know it's bigger than that. We know Gary Gensler is only being told to do what he's supposed to do, whether it's by Elizabeth Warren, whether it's by the Biden team, and then, for his political career, whether he wants to become Treasury Secretary in the future, he's obviously been tasked with killing off crypto. There is no way, I'm a strong believer of this, there is no way you teach an MIT course on blockchain, you talk about cryptocurrencies, you talk about your friend Sylvia McCarley and Algorand, and then suddenly you're serving lawsuits left, right, center, deeming every single currency or security, but also then saying we have fiat currency, we don't need anything else. It's so contradictory. Like, how can you mention your friend Algorand and Sylvia McCarley on one side, and at the same exact breath, then say we don't need cryptocurrencies, right? Only thing is money pays, career pays, and that's what we know is going on that side. So interesting to see the pressure starting to mount on Gary Gensler. We've got to continue that. We've got to continue that. And ultimately, look, if the US want to put themselves in a box where they push away cryptocurrency, good for them, right? Good for them. If they want to do that, that's great. We spoke yesterday about how A16Z and Andreessen Horowitz moved their HQ to here in London. Now, I don't trust that either, right? London hasn't been particularly forthcoming for crypto adoption. I also don't think London create their own decisions. I think somebody's probably calling from the US and saying, look, we need to keep crypto close. Like A16Z are probably going to move to Hong Kong or somewhere else if we're not careful, or the Middle East, like every other company is doing. So can you just like open up crypto a little bit, UK, as our baby brother? And then what we'll do is once we've figured it out, we'll then see. But we need to keep it close while we're still creating a mess, right? Something like that's going on. I just do not trust what's going on. Ian says, Ijaz, will Audi and other non-meme coin BRC projects benefit from a BTC run? Absolutely. Of course, if Bitcoin's going to run, then you will see movements in BRC20 protocols. Now, remember, BRC20 is very, very early. If you think altcoins are early, BRC20 is very, very early. And then you need to ask yourself a question. If these BRC20 tokens get out of hand, could it mess up the status quo for Bitcoin? Right? Same with Ethereum. Look at Ethereum. Since Ethereum's conversations about being a security, you've had EIP 1559, which creates a deflationary aspect to Ethereum. So now, if you look at the lawsuit that was filed for Coinbase and Binance, in there was various references to altcoins having a burning mechanism, and Gary Gensler didn't like that there was burning mechanisms. He thought that deemed them as securities. So if that is the criteria they're looking at, then that could set up Ethereum for a revote, right? Maybe they have to look at Ethereum again. And same with Bitcoin. If you start changing how you're using Bitcoin, could that create another drama as well? So lots to kind of play out in terms of scenarios here. But one thing is for sure, US are not happy with crypto. That's the simple thing. Are they your friend? Are they not your friend? Remember how I used to think about the Fed and Jerome Powell? Are they your friend? Are they putting money into the economy? Or are they not your friend? Are they taking money out of the economy? Right now, they were not our friend this whole period. They were taking money out of the economy. If we can get a pause, then we're neutral. And then if they can start printing money again is when they loosen the monetary policy. Same for regulation. Are they our friend? Are they not our friend? Right now, US is not crypto's friend. Simple as. Now, hopefully that will change in a 4-year cycle, maybe an 8-year cycle. Who knows how long that will take? But the major companies, the projects will have to make sure they go through the process, take legal action. From a political side, you have to lobby to get people like Gary Gensler out if you're pro-crypto, and then you have to let the American population vote. From a crypto perspective, crypto carries on. The genie is out of the bottle. For everything that the US want to give up, if they do not want to be the leaders in Web3, so be it. There are plenty of countries ready to take that crown. Whether it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, Hong Kong, UK, if they want to take it, right? Somebody's going to run with it. They're not going to leave that innovation on the table, right? Especially in these kind of markets right now. Keen says, great coverage, Ijaz. Appreciate you guys, Mike. Hope you were good. She says, keep up the good work. Appreciate that, man. Guys, do smash up the likes. I need those likes smashed up. And if you have any questions, hit me up with the questions. We'll cover off some questions. I know we don't do these live streams too often, but I'm more than happy to cover off any questions. This Bitcoin dominance, keep this chart up on your trading view as well, because this could be surging now to the next level. We broke the key resistance like I drew months ago now, and now we need to see, can we work our way towards 52? I know it sounds weird, but I really don't care what altcoins do right now. I just want Bitcoin to set the scene. Let Bitcoin go set the scene, and then altcoins can follow thereafter. Ultimate Chicken says, is ETH decentralized enough? I remember this channel covered the distribution of stakers, and it was scarily centralized between 6 companies. Yeah, from a staking perspective, it was hugely centralized, and that is a concern. But obviously from in terms of holding percentage, it's not like Vitalik has a huge amount of ETH, and therefore it kind of provides the argument that it's decentralized. But I wouldn't be surprised if they relook at Ethereum, given ETH 2.0 and the whole new landscape, right? What they would have said is a security back then, not a security, sorry, back then. They may want to relook at it because a lot has changed for Ethereum. Omar says 96.4% now for a pause. Markets won't like a 25 basis points. Yes, you make a very good point, Omar. Appreciate you for bringing that up, buddy. As you can see, markets here, I'm not adjusting on mine, but I'm sure this will go up over the next kind of period of time. But yeah, now the market has firmly said, look, we want to pause tomorrow. So if Jerome Powell comes out tomorrow and doesn't give a pause, right, we could be in for a pain. Now, incidentally, we want to take a look at July as well. I know it sounds preemptive, but we need to. Because what July is saying is we're going to pause, but then we're going to have 25 basis points. So the consensus right now is this is not a pause to create an eventual pivot. It's just a pause to then maybe hike again in July. We just want to see where do we land, right? So the market is not going the next step, which is to say we're going to pause, keep pausing, and then eventually come down. The market is saying we're going to pause. It's just 1 month off. And then July, we're back again. Okay, so it's important to understand that difference. Ian's got to go to work. Appreciate you, buddy. Go enjoy your work. Lefty, with the Howey test, do all 4 components have to qualify or just one? All 4. All 4 have to qualify. If you can show that not one of those is true, you pass the Howey test. But like I said, they're trying to muddy the waters. They're trying to say that, oh, look, Howey isn't always applicable. There's other bits and pieces. Doug says, hi, Ijaz. Do you see Binance collapsing? No. Binance US, I'd be very, very wary about. Binance as a whole, no. They're going to be fine. The Binance will be fine. They got deep pockets. They'll fight this for years if it needs to come. Even for US, they can fight it for years. But if I was holding assets in Binance to US, I would have got it out a long time ago. Street Skills, is Phantom a security in your opinion? Just got in the live stream. Scroll back. We covered that off earlier. Simon Kagawa, Casper is SEC FUD proof. L1 block dag, no brainer. Casper will blow. Cool. So that's where we stand, guys. Markets are feeling quite buoyant. Good CPI triple beat. Bitcoin moving up 1%. Hinman document sent out. 2 more things left today. We've got the Coinbase. Will they hear back from the SEC? We'll stay tuned for that. And then we have the hearing for Binance. So we're going to listen out for that hearing to find out if anything comes of that. So if you want that live streamed, make sure this stream gets to at least 100 likes. If this stream's not on 100 likes, there is no way I can do another live stream for less than 100 likes, guys. Especially if I have to listen to that boring old Congress and those old politicians. Smash the likes. Let's get